Good morning. Today it is Sunday and it is the final day of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. As you can probably hear, the family are in the house because we're going to be heading across to Silverstone today as a six, which is really lovely. We're going to be watching the race from the Fusion Lounge, which is one of the top hospitality packages that you can get at Silverstone. I'm also going to be working with Ferrari Trento, who I actually worked with last year at Silverstone. They are the official toast of the Formula One. This is not an ad, I am doing a sponsorship over on Instagram, but they actually sent out two limited edition Silverstone Ferrari Trento Italian white sparkling wine bottles. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it? So I'm also going to be heading over to the Paddock Club to meet up with those guys and watch some of the race over there, because you get the best access in the Paddock Club. You get to see the cars coming in, changing over the wheels during the race, all of the good stuff. So I am really looking forward to today. I'm probably a little bit biased, but Silverstone is one of my favourite Grand Prix. I think there's lots of overtaking opportunities. The weather is unpredictable. I think today we're going to do rain for about 2 hours midday. So that could be the start of the race in the wet, and then it could dry out, which makes for a very interesting race. So it should be good. And the taxi is outside. I'm all dressed up, ready to go. I'm actually wearing my rust or orange coloured made-to-measure jacket from Suster & Hicks. I've got an orange pinstripe shirt on from Pini Palma, who are an Italian brand. I've got my Tom Sweeney trousers that you've seen many times before, and my Loro Piana summer walk. So I'm looking relatively smart today. I thought I'd go quite smart and make the most of the opportunity to dress up. So I'm going to jump in the car, head over to Silverstone. Hopefully we don't get caught up in too much traffic, because it can be absolutely chaotic going into Silverstone and leaving it as well. So anyway, I will catch up with you at Silverstone. Right, we have just arrived to the Paddock Club here at Silverstone. It is so busy, I cannot tell you. Apparently there's been an 80% increase in fans attendance because of the Netflix documentary Drive to Survive. But as you can see behind me, we're just walking up now to the entrance and we're going to raise a glass with Ferrari Trento. Welcome to the Paddock Club. Very noisy. I'm hoping that I'm not going to get a copyright strike on the sound. Beautiful wife, looking very chic in her Italian two-piece. But we're just going to go and take a look at the view from here. It looks pretty impressive. Very cool.
Hello to you.
Amazing. Welcome. Right, we are just leaving the paddock now. We're going to be heading back to the Fusion Lounge for the race. I'm going to be joining my dad, Carrie and co.
Ready? Ready?
Oh, lovely. Lovely, well done.
You know what? I often wondered.
How many glasses of
I'm triple parked.
Ferrari Trento Lydia's got to get the quadruple, I'd say.
No, oh, that's my old one.
Okay.
I often wondered, because when I first met Ali, he could not handle his drink, and now he's that. I know where he gets it from. I have to teach him how to do it.
The race has been postponed for an unfortunate collision on the starting line with Alfa Romeo, and so we're taking the opportunity to grab ourselves a little bit of food here at one of the food spots at the Fusion Lounge. Looks incredible. Yes. You probably can't hear us, but who's winning?
I'm sorry. Tango Charlie Foxtrot Oscar.
So we're currently around about halfway through the race. Lewis Hamilton has just taken the lead. We have currently Sainz in second, Leclerc in third, Lando Norris in fourth. So the tables have turned and Mercedes are taking the lead, which is an absolute surprise. I thought that we were going to get a Ferrari win this year, but right now Lewis is absolutely tearing up Silverstone.
Okay, this one I'm sure you'll love. Does anyone like garage music?
Hey, throughout the whole weekend, you're amazing. We're good. Let's do it. Thank you so much. Gonna make a change for tonight.
See, there's quite a lot of bees going on in here. So this here is a queen excluder. So this will stop the queen from coming up and laying eggs into that super where the honey will be. So I'll take this off. See, they're bracing here. They're creating a brace cone between the top frames and the queen excluder. I'll just quickly clean that up. So I always start at this end. It's looking packed out all the way along, so the colony size is full, which is good because it means that they should start getting into that super. So this right here should be a wall-to-wall honey because it's on the outside of the colony. Oh my god, they are so jam-packed. Oh, they need to start doing this up in there.
Try and get that back in now.
Yeah. It's really important that you put the combs in the same way around because where they will build in situ. So there'll be elevated areas and recessed areas of the frames. So what I did was I put a Stanley knife across all of these. So I know that this side that's got the marks on them is always on the back. You see on the frame, can you see that clearly? If you look here, you can see all of the larvae just on this side here. Look, I'm quite so close to get out of focus there, yeah. So all of the larvae that's bunched together just here, it's really great to see. And then just around it, you won't see on the camera, but there's actually eggs in here. And then this right up here, we call it a play cup. So they just sort of like keep their craft intact, just to make sure that they can make a queen cell should they need. So that's just what we call a play cut. And then if you look here, we've got a bee actually hatching, just starting to chew its way out of its cell now. And that's a worker bee. Little aggie bees. This is so full, isn't it? That's why they're annoyed, because they're full. I wouldn't be surprised, mate, if I see a queen cell in it. So I normally never smoke my bees until I get to about here, because they don't normally need it. But I think because the colony's so full, they're not as... Wow. I don't know what it looks like that side. Yeah, can you see that wall? That's wall-to-wall brood, which means that all of those cells that are just flat and capped, that's all new worker bees. That's crazy. They're working very efficiently. It looks really healthy though, doesn't it? Look. You might not notice, but when I point it out, you might see it a bit more clearly. But these foundation frames have wires in them, so can you see just there's wires? See, just there and there? There's wires here as well, and there and there, and they go diagonally. Now, if you look at the bits where there are missing brood, you can sort of see they're missing where the wires are going. Only in some of the cells where they've not built them out deep enough, because they obviously don't want to be putting an egg into a cell that's got wire in it or near it. So you can kind of see the pattern of the wire where they've missed them. Put that back in. I've never seen this. This is so full. I've never seen it this full. Is this fuller than the ones that you looked at the other day?
Yeah.
The bees look healthy. I've not seen any varroa on the back of their thorax. I've not seen any wax moth. No issues with wings. The wings look fine. There's not a huge amount of drones in here, which normally if they're going to swarm you get loads of drones. There's actually just quite a lot of workers. And there hasn't been a huge amount of drone cells either. Everything that I'm seeing is predominantly worker cells. So all of these signs lead to the sort of idea that they're not going to swarm, but it could mean that we're going to get a flow. There's the queen. So she's on the right side of the frame where the sunlight is. See it? See her with a white dot on her back? I'll try and get her to go in the sunlight.
Oh, yeah.
That's her there, yeah. Working away. I did the bee inspection a little bit earlier than I planned on doing so, because my friend Jez was over, and I thought, do you know what? Jez did a inspection the other day at the university that he teaches at, and I got stung on my lip, which I got actually stung through the veil as well, which, or the mesh should I say, which was not ideal. I didn't react well to it, it caught me off guard. And so yeah, I've now got a nice voluptuous lip. Anyway, I picked up the camera. We are going to be doing an unboxing in a second, because I have some really cool clothes I want to share with you. Lydia's just called dinner, and I thought, this looks amazing. So, when I spin the camera around, you'll see that we've got garden greens with homegrown lemon and pasta, which I believe has got parmesan.
Parmesan and soft cheese.
And soft cheese. And then you've done some water with some rosemary in it.
From the little herb garden.
Yeah, lovely. Do you want to go out, my boy? Ah, you wanted your toy. Okay, Lummy. So well done you. Very impressive. So we're going to tuck into this, and then I'll pick the camera back up and we'll get stuck into that unboxing. Well, hour by hour, my lip is getting bigger and bigger. So I'm sorry you can't take me seriously looking like this, but we need to get this done. So I placed an order with a company that I'd never ordered from before. And I say I placed an order, it was actually a gift from Lydia. So I started to place an order, and she said, I would like to pay for these for you because of all the help that you do. And it's from a company called Aurelian. I'm not sure if that's exactly the pronunciation. I'm not even sure where they're based. Like I mentioned earlier, they do some like really nice basics. And it very much reminded me of a kind of Loro Piana style of dressing, and it was at a much more affordable price. So I thought I'm gonna give them a go because I love picking up pieces from Loro and I can see the quality in the items that they sell. So I wanna see if there's much difference for one, and I'm not going to be able to give you that answer straight away. They need to run the test of time and see how they last. There are some similar pieces, so we're going to crack these two boxes open. I've got two boxes down below me. This is the smaller one, and the bigger one feels like it's got all the shoes in it. So we'll open these up, we'll take a look, and I'll give you my feedback. So inside this first parcel, we have the extra fine merino wool beige, I think they're bottoms, and the olive beachside loafer, which might be espadrilles. So first things first, the exposure calms down a little bit. Lovely packaging. They're nice solid cardboard boxes, and they've got Aurelian in gold on the lid, and they've also put this nice little border around the edge. So very nice. We've got some nice tissue packaging here. This is the first item. It feels very nice. I think Lydia's going to be very jealous. These are definitely the kind of thing that I'd see her in. So there we have them. A pair of beige merino wool pants, or joggers, or trousers, whatever you want to call them. I am going to try these on and see how they fit, but first impressions are they feel really nice and soft, and the size of them looks very nice. So hopefully these are going to fit, because it's actually really nice travelling in merino wool. One thing I have noticed since buying more precious fabrics, or delicate fabrics maybe is a better choice of word, they're in the dry cleaners and you don't sometimes get them back for a week, and because at the moment there's been lots of travel, I'd like to have my joggers for travel, so to have two pairs to flip between would be very convenient. So we're going to give those a try and see how they fit. So that's the first item. The second, again, in a small box. These definitely are not the espadrilles or the loafers. Very nice. So this is a linen polo, and it was in a blue. I think it's turned out a little bit more turquoisey than I would have liked. I'm going to try it on in better light in my wardrobe and see how that looks, but fabric feels nice. It doesn't feel like a lightweight linen. It feels quite heavy and thick, almost like it's got a blend to it. It does just say linen, but it feels like it's got like a linen cotton blend. 100% linen. How bizarre. Liz, can you get linen that doesn't crease? How strange. That's like really soft fabric, almost like cotton, like you can see. There are no creases. I never knew you could get linen like this. So anyway, 100% linen polo, and I'm not 100% sure on the colour of this, if I'm completely honest, but we'll give it a whirl and see how it sits alongside my current wardrobe. These are the exact same colourway as my Loro Piana shoes. However, these had laces on the top, and there are times where I want to wear footwear that's slightly more practical but equally smart, and I thought that these were kind of like a bit of a hybrid between like a trainer and a loafer, and I thought that I'm gonna see how they turn out, see how they fit and how they style up with the clothing that I have, because they might just not work. Like, the laces makes me less inclined to want to wear these without socks, and then pairing socks with these shoes with the right trousers might just not work. But I thought I'm gonna order them, give them a go and see. My first impressions, the suede feels so nice, it feels lovely. The sole, like I said, is identical, and the actual finish on the toe, slightly less structured, I'd say. You can see there it just slightly sags in around the toe of the shoe. The general construction of this is slightly looser, more like free flowing, which might be problematic if your toes start creating little bumps and bobbles. Because the fabric's so slack, it might stretch in areas where your toes stick out, which will obviously kind of like ruin the shape of the shoe. So that's something that I'm gonna have to wear them to find out. But shoes number one, a bit on the fence with these, but we're gonna have to see how these fare. Now we've switched to a brown box. These are shoe bags. Ah, interesting. So these are linen, and I've got these in a navy colour. I don't really have any blue or navy shoes, so I thought maybe I should potentially give them a go, because with white shorts and lighter colour trousers, these could look really smart, and it just switches things up from constantly going with brown, which is like my go-to footwear colour when I'm dressing a bit smarter. So these, because of the fabric, feel like they've got a little bit more structure to them. You can see that on the toe, they kind of bounce back a bit more. The shape of them are absolutely perfect. They're exactly what I would want. It would have been nice to have seen Aurelien stitched into or embossed into the inner sole just here. I know that nobody sees it when you're wearing them, but it is quite nice when you have a nice pair of shoes to see the brand's name inside the inner sole. They do have it on the bottom of the shoe here. It's embossed into the bottom of the shoe. The inner sole does have a little bit of a cushion in it, which feels quite nice, so we'll give these a go as well. These were a pair of shoes that Lydia really liked on the website, so I picked those up because I thought, well, if you really like them, let's give them a go. We'll go for another brown box here. These are the caramel yacht loafer, and this, I guess, is the closest direct comparison to the shoes that I already have. And as you can see, you know, they're fairly similar. I wouldn't say that it's very obvious that they're different. You can see that they've got a slight different detailing just around the top here, and again, the fabric feels a little bit softer. So you might end up with a few areas that are stretched out a little bit, which in my opinion can make a suede loafer look a little bit cheaper because they're not holding their shape. But just straight out the box, they do look fantastic. They do look really good. Next in here, I forgot I had ordered these. So these are the beachside sneakers, and I have been struggling with trainers. I think I mentioned on my channel I brought those Brunello Cucinelli suede ones the other day, which I absolutely love, and I'm also petrified to wear them because the weather's been so up and down recently. I do put Crep Protect on, but you know when you're like, I just really don't want to go out and these get trashed with like in puddles and like mud and dirt, so I'd rather wear them when I know that I'm going to be in slightly more cleaner environments, or at least drier. So I thought I'll go for another light pair of sneakers to see how these go as well, because I think that the colourway of those Brunello Cucinelli ones work really nicely, and I felt like these were quite a similar colourway, but they do have the added benefit of having like a canvas element to the shoe, which means that they're going to be slightly more durable than if it was a full suede shoe like my Brunellos are. We'll give those a try, but they're the sneakers. I feel like they're just really overexposed. I'm hoping when this goes onto the computer you can see a lot clearer, but if you can't, we've got canvas in the middle, and then the toe is kind of like capped with a suede finish, and then just around the laces there's a little suede area, and then again on the heel on the back of the shoe. These are the taupe linen yacht loafers, which I actually quite like these. I think that this is much more my colourway, so I feel like this is much a safer choice than the navy ones that I showed you a second ago. I do feel like these are going to hold their shape a lot better than the suede ones will, so these look good. And I actually quite like that they're a different texture, and I feel like they potentially look a little bit smarter as well, being linen. They've just got a nice finish to them. So these are the olive beachside espadrilles that were supposed to be in the other box, and I absolutely love the colour. They're a nice deep green. They're coming up a little bit lighter on the camera, and they feel good. They feel sturdy. Inside they've got that embossed inner sole that I was talking about a second ago in like a leather, so feels a little bit more premium. First impressions of these are brilliant. I really like these. They've also got these rubber soles on them as well, so hopefully that will help with a little bit of grip, although they are completely smooth, so if you got caught out in the wet, they might be a bit slippy. Now the last of the footwear before we open up the last few boxes. We have the same espadrilles again, but in the camel colour So I don't need to go over these too much, but you get the gist. I thought that if these are going to work, it'd be nice to have them in 2 different colorways. You can see what I mean about the really soft kind of fabric that's been used. It kind of worries me a bit that the shoes might lose their structure and go a little bit saggy. I don't know if that's the right word. Do you know, like when people used to wear Uggs and the sort of like boot used to go a little bit like, and it just used to look not very nice. A bit worried that that might happen because of the looseness of the material. Do you see what I mean?
What?
Like, because they're so loose, they might lose their shape, or when I put my foot in and my toe sticks out the side like that, you'll end up with like a bump in the shoe.
You're supposed to be a bit more relaxed.
No, I know, but the Aurelian summer walks hold their shape more.
I can't believe that you've done your whole unboxing.
Or with my fat lip.
Your fat lip.
It's actually quite... Ooh. Sorry about that, my camera just died. Lydia's just joined me. But I think you heard us finish on these. So again, I've got the same espadrilles in a caramel colour. And I thought I'm going to get 2 colourways because if these work, then I could do with 2 pairs, because I actually think these are a really great summer shoe. Hopefully these are going to do the trick. 4 more boxes we have inside. It's really nice packaging, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I like the colour of this. This is nice. This is like an olive green. It's not coming up very well on the camera, I think because I've got warm light and that's now blue light out there. It's getting late. So this feels like a peak polo. Oh, so it says that this is a men taupe peak polo. I'd say it looks kind of like an olive green, to be honest with you. But you get the gist. A nice textured polo. If I hold it up a little bit closer, you'll see. If that fits, that's going to be really nice. I could do with that kind of colour. Nice olive green.
Look nice with your cream trousers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I did go out on the polos. This looks lovely.
Oh yeah, that's a lovely colour. It's a camel.
So yeah, we've got a nice soft camel polo here. I actually like ordering volume because it's amazing how I've ordered 3 polos from this company and every single one feels and looks different.
But they're the same polos?
No, they're not. So like that's a linen
Right,
fabric.
right.
That's a, I believe, cotton, and this is like a cashmere. Yeah, this is a cash wool.
Wow.
And this is actually long sleeved.
Oh, lovely.
Check that out, you'll see that it's a long sleeve jumper. Now actually what I really wanted was like a buttonless top, which this company do, and if you watched my last video you'll have seen David Beckham was wearing like a mustard colour buttonless long sleeve polo, and I believe that it is from this company. I'm not 100% sure, it could be from Aurelian because he was wearing the shoes, the summer walks, but there's also a good chance that it could have been from this company because they're literally identical. And they unfortunately didn't have anything in my size in that style, so this was like the next best thing with the buttons, but I think it looks really lovely and I love the colour, so I'm hoping that that fits. I've got 2 more to go. I brought a lot of stuff.
I know, you spent a lot of money.
I know, well I'll be sending stuff back for sure. There's a few things already that I'm like, I don't think they're going to stay. So this is a nice pair of linen shorts, and they've got turn-ups at the bottom, and they're drawstring, and they're a linen. They're definitely a linen, but they look really lovely actually. Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? Yeah. Very happy with them. I think they're going to fit as well because they've got the elastic waist. Fantastic. Some of their items feel really good, and I mean it's not cheap stuff.
No, it's like a good mid-tier.
Yeah, it's much more expensive than Prix.
Yeah. But
it's a lot less than Brunello and the likes of those kind of brands. So I would say that it sits as like an affordable luxury. Is probably the wrong word to use because.
Yeah, I always say premium high street.
Yeah, but I'd say
it's
this.
More than that.
It's more, yeah.
Oh, and then like that's when I say like mid-tier or something like that. Like it's just.
I don't actually have the prices of these items to hand, but I do vaguely remember the shoes being like £250, £300 pair of shoes. And again, I'd say each garment was around about 250 to 300 quid. So it's not cheap, but when you compare it to some of the other brands, it's probably half the price. And I also like that they do this. They give you a little swab of fabric
The cotton.
from the garment. What was that?
No, it's if you need to sew it up or anything.
Oh, is that why? I just thought it was like a nice little gesture. Aha, so the cashmere joggers that I showed you earlier, I believe this is the top half. So rather than it being a hood, this has got a half zip. So I thought it was a bit smarter. And if I come back, you'll see that there's a slightly different colour hem, cuff and neckline on this, which I wasn't 100% sure, and I would have liked it to have been all one colour, if I'm completely honest.
Nice.
But yeah, it maybe adds something a little different, but this is so soft.
Oh, really?
I hope it fits, because it'd be a really nice travelling tracksuit. So that does complete my Aurelian unboxing. I'm going to try some of this stuff on. I'm not going to film it because the light's getting really bad and it's just getting harder to see. But I will update you in this video the items that I send back and the items that I decide to keep. But my first impressions of the brand are really good, really positive. I think that all of the items aesthetically are like on point. I think that the shapes and the cuts and the styles, they're all working for me. The only things that I'm slightly unsure on are the colour of the polo, because I'm not sure if the turquoise is the best colour for me. My only other concern with the suede loafers in general is just whether the fabric is just a little bit too soft and they're going to lose their shape, but I'm not really going to know that until I wear them a little bit more. So first impressions are good. I feel like the brand has a good sort of premium feel to them, which is nice because it's been so long since I've seen a brand that's inspired me to want to buy this much stuff.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Also,
yeah,
they've got like really good classic.
that's what I mean. It's like staple.
So it's like, but a much more like affordable price range.
Yeah, affordable. And I know that they're still very expensive.
But like than the brands that you like.
Yes, fantastic. My lip is becoming a bit of a nuisance. I'm sitting here like it's going dry and it keeps getting stuck to this lip.
Oh, you have to put some lip balm on it.
Yeah, good shout. I'll do that now. Right, I'm gonna clean this mess up, stop the beeping, and I'll check in with you very soon. It is seriously getting so big now.
I can't believe you just filmed a whole video.
I'm gonna watch this back and I'm gonna be like, oh, why did you do it then? Why
Yeah.
did you just wait? I've just got so much on, I can't wait. I just needed to get this done tonight.
I can just imagine people sitting at home and all they're looking at is your lip.
So Lydia's like the Homer Simpson characters. They have like really big top lips. That's basically what's going on right now.
The funny thing is when you smile, the bit in the middle stays down. So you look like that. You look like that TikTok filter. You know when everyone's doing the crying.
Yeah.
That's what you.
Yeah, I do. I look like I look like I'm sad rather than smiling. Oh, it actually is getting so big. Proper got me. It caught me off guard as well.
Really?
I vlogged it. It's on camera.
Oh really?
Jess was filming me. I was like, oh! Proper just felt it go shoo.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway.
Bedtime.
Yeah. Absolute chaos.
Bottom. How do you have so many bloody toys? I'm talking to the dog.
Go and see Barkley.
He's down there.
What are you doing?
Thought he jumped in my spot.
Okay, my boy. Well, good morning to you. I've just woken up and as you can see, my lips actually got worse not better overnight, which is really frustrating because today I'm supposed to be filming and shooting, which won't be possible with this going on. So I've taken an anti-inflammatory. I already took a antihistamine yesterday night before bed, and I think I can put some like cold ice on it, see if that will help take the swelling down. But it's actually starting to rise up just under my nostril as well, so it's like that whole section's going, which is quite bizarre because I've been stung many times now and I've never reacted like this. And I did once get stung on my outside of my lip here, not when I was at my beehive, I was actually somewhere else. That didn't swell up that bad, but this seems to have not taken too well to it. So yes, not 100% sure what's going down today, but I did try on some of the items last night, so we're going to go up and I'll show you exactly what's gone down. It's a shame because I was hoping that more items were going to work, but there are a fair few things that are going to be going back, but I'll update you with that in a second. So as promised, I'm going to quickly share with you the items I'm going to be keeping from the Aurelian unboxing. Just a quick update, the lip is slowly starting to go down, so I'm hoping by tomorrow morning it's going to be gone, fingers crossed. But just to quickly run you through the items, these are the linen shorts, straight out the box, fit very nicely. They've got a very small single pleat or dart just down the inside here. I think during transit slightly got a little bit pressed and creased, but we'll be able to straighten that out. But I'm really happy with them, they're very comfortable, they're a lovely length. I don't need any work on these, so these are definitely going to be staying. And this is that taupe peak polo that I mentioned. Absolutely love it, fits really nicely on the arms. It's just a very classic basic for my wardrobe. Unfortunately, when I unboxed this yesterday, I'm not sure if it's going to show up on the camera, there's just a very small stain here. So I've actually just messaged the team on Instagram to see whether they would like me to return this unworn or whether they want me to have a go at getting this out. I've got no idea what it is. I'm assuming that it was something when they were packing it that somebody might have had on their hands or something. It's obviously very central to the top, so it's like in the direct eye line, and so it would be ideal if it wasn't there. So I think that this might unfortunately not be coming on my next trip. We'll see what they say. Now, the other items, just to sort of give you a little bit of a recap, the turquoise polo, I think I'm going to return that. I'm just not keen on the colour. The tracksuit, as much as the fabrics and the cuts and the silhouettes were lovely, but just a little bit too tight. So the trousers, those cashmere joggers, just on my bum were a little bit too snug, and the zip was also a bit small. So I could size up and get the bigger knit, and that would fit, I'm sure, perfectly. But the trousers were the right size around the length and waist. So if I was to go a size up, they would be too loose. So unfortunately, that kind of like two-piece is going to go back as well. And I'm going to try on the long sleeve polo again because I just love it so much. But I think I mentioned to you before about some cashmere, and that's cash wool, and this might be the fabric that I struggle with, causes me to feel a little bit like itchy. And so when I put it on last night, I was quite hot. It was itching me, so I was like, oh, this might have to go back. It's also maybe a little bit too tight. I'm gonna quickly give that one more go, but that might also be going back. The linen loafers were really tight, unfortunately. Put my foot into this shoe and you can already see that it started to cause a crease on these shoes, so they wouldn't last 5 minutes. And the actual physical length of the shoe are correct, so they are true to size, but the narrowness and the stiffness of the linen fabric meant that there wasn't any room for my slightly wider feet. And I do have wide feet, so if you're somebody that has normal size feet, you won't have any issues with those. But if, like me, you've got slightly wider feet, then they may be a little bit snug. Just to give you a side-by-side comparison, these are the Aurelian loafers and these are the Loro Piana. And so you can see they are very, very similar. The soles are pretty much identical. And the actual physical overall size of the two shoes when I held them side by side, pretty much the same. The only difference is that the Loro Piana ones are just a tad wider, probably about 5 mil, which gives me a little bit more breathing room, I guess, when I'm wearing these. So these are a little bit snug, but I'm going to give at least this pair, I think, a go, and I'm going to see how they fare. If they do loosen up over time, then success. If they don't, then it's just one pair of shoes that are a little bit tight, and one of my friends will luck out with a pair of of nice suede loafers. The espadrilles, when I'm wearing them, I'm not sure whether this is just an espadrille thing in general, because of the stiffness of the sole. They were very tight, because the loafers in general, I think from Aurelian, are slightly narrower than my feet. They were a little bit tight, but I did start to feel them loosen up because I wore them for probably about 10 minutes last night, and the back of the heel I could start to feel was slightly pushing down like this. So you can see you have that. And I'm not a big fan of this. I don't love it. But Lydia's like, that's the whole point. They're supposed to be relaxed and quite a casual shoe. So this is how the espadrilles look from my perspective. And you just saw them from the side profile. I'm not sure how the heels were looking down there, but from what I can see here, you can see there's just a slight indent just at the bottom where my heel touches. Not so much on these green ones here, to be fair. But I do love this style of shoe. I think they're a lovely summer shoe. So I think I'm going to keep them, see how they go. And if they become really problematic and I'm like, oh, I don't like these, then I'll update you. And then apart from that, I think that is it. That was the order that was placed. So as a recap, I'm going to be keeping the espadrilles. I'm going to be keeping the sneakers, the camel loafers. I'm going to be returning the linen and the lace loafers, and I'm going to be returning the 4 tops here because unfortunately sizing and comfort wasn't quite there for me. I also received, by the way, my jacket back from Suster & Hicks today from Tom Sweeney. It's a little bit too big for me, so the shoulders are a bit too wide, but it was just so worth having this jacket in my wardrobe because the colour palette and the jacket just matches my trousers obviously so nicely, and I just love that colour. I just couldn't let it go even though it was a little bit too big. I think it's such a nice comfortable jacket to wear, so hopefully not too many people will pick up on the fact that the shoulders are a little bit too big for me, and we'll style it out. This is the long sleeve polo, and I've just put this back on and it's actually not itching me at all. So I just wonder whether it was because last night I was really hot and it was super hot up here as well, and perhaps my skin was a little bit more sensitive. It actually feels nice and comfortable. The only thing I'd say, it's a little bit tight around the bicep, so you can see just on the top of my arms it's just slightly tighter than I would have liked it to have been. But in terms of the length of the top and the width, like the body's really nice on it, like there's enough breathing room there. It's just in my arms it's a bit tight. I'm going to sit on the fence with this one and make a decision as to whether to order a large or not. The concern obviously being if I order a large, then the overall fit might be too big. So it's whether I want to go for a snug fit or a more relaxed fit. Comfort is so important for me, so I need to make a decision on that this evening. Just come downstairs to organise the return for the items that I'm not going to be keeping, and I've just found out that to do a return from the UK, you have to fill out a lot of information to do so. They don't arrange for a free return, so you pay for your return, which is fine. That's just their policy. However, I had to actually generate commodity forms. I've had to fill out declarations. There's 6 pages that I've printed that I've got to like sign, and I guess this is all to do with like being outside of the EU now. It's the first time I've experienced this. I've done lots of orders with Italian companies and I've never had to go to this extent to return an item. So it's just something to consider, that if you do place an order like I have, that not every place will even take a parcel that weighs 10 kilograms, because I ordered lots of shoes. So 10 kilograms has like made it a lot harder to return because most companies will take up to 2 kilograms. So I've actually gone on to Parcel Force, and that's who I'm using to return the item. And yeah, it's cost about 60 quid, but to get to the point, it's probably taken me about half an hour. So just something to consider if you do place an order online, that the return structure from the UK isn't the most straightforward. So anyway, I am going to wrap this video up. I hope you have enjoyed it, And as always, I will link all of the relevant details in the description box below. I hope you have a great rest of the week. I also hope that my lip continues to go down because it's becoming a little bit of a nuisance. But at least the bees are thriving, which makes me very happy. So I will see you next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Have a good one. Peace.
Tell me your story.